I see a lot of TV commercials for campaigns and for candidates, and they talk about pocketbook issues, but they talk about a lot of other things too. You know, I think about the statewide PSC races, and it's for a regulatory body that regulates utilities, but the race got pretty heated. It got pretty partisan at times. National flashpoint terminology was thrown around, accusations of trying to bring in the Green New Deal. One Republican raised, another Republican accused his opponent of his words being a, quote, DEI specialist. I think some voters may hear that, may see the tenor of these races and think, boy, that doesn't feel like a regulatory body, but it was. How did it get so ratcheted up, Val?
So I think we're kind of in an era where everything has been polarized at this point. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we were watching an election for like Dogcatcher, it would be we would be listening to the same language at this point. I think things are just so divided at this point. I think that's what the voters, that's going to be one of the decisions that they're going to have to make. Are they willing to continue going down this path? And are they going to reject it and say, look, I'm just trying to build my family here. I'm trying to survive. Like, I don't want to hear this nonsense anymore. I want what's best for me now.
It's interesting that you say that too, because it just brings to mind you, we are looking at races here in Georgia. There are several races across the country, governor races in New Jersey and Virginia. There's a big Prop 50 on the ballot in California. And there was a recent interview with Governor Newsom and Kristen Welker. Her show obviously comes on before the Georgia vote every Sunday. And in that interview, she asked him, hey, why are you taking this approach to kind of mock Donald Trump's tweets when he's doing like the all caps and everything? Why are you doing it back at him? Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. And in so many words, he said, well, Michelle Obama reformed what she said and said, well, we need to go high with strategy now. The game has changed. Is that kind of what we are seeing? Or are we going to get back to the old Obama handshake with, who was he debating at that time? Romney.
John McCain,
was that John McCain?
And Mitt Romney. There were moments of real bipartisan agreement. Even in those, at the time, people thought, whoa, the 2008 presidential election, we've never seen anything as heated as this, 2012. And now I think a lot of people look back on those and think, what a quaint time.
Can we get back to it? Can we get back to it? Or is it now strategy of strategically going high? As Michelle
You think about
Obama
those wedge
said.
issues. Spiro, is that something that campaigns have to think about now?
I wish I could say we could go back, you know, to that a little more civil, you know, debate. But with technology changes, you know, it's just all about quickly getting your message, getting those sound bites, and getting the reactions. I frankly don't know how we go back in the other direction, you know, but I sure hope we can get back to some semblance of civil debate. I think that would be good for both sides.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say I agree with that. I think also what we're seeing is a kind of a breakdown in either communication and trust between the two parties, where it's no longer, okay, I'm going to do this, and then we have a gentleman's agreement that you're going to react this way. It's kind of every man for himself at this point.
I mean, and kind of leads me to my next point that I was going to ask Chauncey is just, it's becoming normalized, right? It's almost like a West Coast versus East Coast. Either you're with us or you're not. You're weak, you're strong. But there's still this distrust and dislike of both parties, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the idea, you know, when you have a situation with a regulatory body like the PSC and folks are just looking at their bill and regardless of what party they are and saying it's up, I don't like that. The strategy behind that for the Republicans is to say, well, do you want a Democrat in charge of this? You know, this and everything, the baggage that comes along with the label of Democrat for a lot of Republican voters in Georgia. So you definitely seeing them trying to capitalize on that culture war stuff and the red team, blue team stuff.
Well, one difference I will say, and Spiro, I'll let you weigh in here. I just want to say something because I just thought it was really interesting. We did see a very prominent Republican endorse a Democrat in the New York City mayor's election. Donald Trump giving that endorsement to former Governor Cuomo. That's in New York. We're coming back to Georgia. Spiro, your thoughts?
New York politics is its own thing.
But people say that about Georgia politics now too.
And I think, you know, Donald Trump, you know, with the world is obviously a lot smaller. With the advent of social media, Trump obviously tapped into that, and he basically took New York-style politics and made it national. And I think that's where we are. But in regard to the parties, I mean, both parties are guilty of this. I mean, you have good people in both parties. You know, I've been a Republican all my life, 30 years, and the old saying used to be Republicans eat their own young. We had a way of doing that. But we've got to get back to being able to sit down, talk about our disagreements, and work out things that are amicable.
Sally, yeah, go ahead, and then I want to ask a question to everybody.
Yeah.
But you first.
So I'll also point out something very interesting that we're seeing is you're seeing candidates like Mamdani who are pulling in Republicans because of his genuineness. He is out there up front telling you what he believes in, what he's not giving you this, well, I support both, XYZ. He's not giving you the political speak. I think people want somebody who's going to be upfront and honest with them about what they believe in so that at least they know where it stands. And I mean, we'll even see our own Congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is coming out talking about how she's mad at the Republican Party and because they're not talking about the healthcare subsidies. So I do think that there is some sort of movement happening. I'm just not sure if it's at the top of the party that's happening.
People want that authenticity, and people might argue with me on it, but from our reporting, Donald Trump did that well in 2016. He kind of took off this cloak of politician. He wasn't a politician. He put on the hat and said, hey, I'm like you. Even though I grew up, very wealthy, I'm like you. People saw that, and that it tugged on that emotion that we were talking about earlier, and people saw that authenticity of what they felt was Donald Trump.